So you know how I said I was gonna, not follow a scheduled list of things for each day? Yeah, it makes it kind of more difficult. So I decided to look at what I had for last year. I was like, on this date it was supposed to be, a shoe that he wore as a bull. All right, we can rock with that for today. So, before getting into that, I want to take a small moment to give a small plug to my other channel, Crazy Star Wars Fan 108. Over on that channel, if you guys are Star Wars fans, you will know that I'm a Star Wars fan. Well, coming on that channel is going to be some stuff we're showing you what I picked up for Force Friday. Some things like some pops, some Black Series figures, things like that. I'm going to be posting my pickups over on that channel. And if you like talking about Star Wars, like stuff like that, I want you guys to go support and go follow over there. If you don't like Star Wars, that's okay. It won't be like this. But y'all going to be liking Star Wars by the end of this month. Because the other reason why I'm plugging Star Wars right now in this video is because if you go to the Finish Line app right now, you go look at upcoming releases, scroll down to November 1st. On November 1st, they are releasing 5. And by that, I mean Adidas is releasing 5 different Star Wars colorways of shoes on 5 different basketball models. One of which is going to be the Drose 10s. So, go look at finishline.com or go look at the Finish Line app and you can see it on there. I'm not faking. I'll put a screenshot of it right here. Drose 10 Star Wars ones. It's pretty hype, man. It's pretty hype. I can't wait to see what they're gonna be like. I'm containing my excitement right now because but the crazy thing for me is that basically the start of this month, Star Wars robbed me of like a lot of my money. But I was saving up for it kind of, so that's cool. And then at the beginning of next month, Star Wars is gonna rob me again for my money. But this time it's a joint effort for my 2 favorite things, Star Wars and Adidas. So awesome. This is awesome. That snap was bad. There we go. I was like, that's a better snap. But let's get into the actual review. So inside us here, we got a box. Pull this box out, and we have none other than a Drose shoe that he wore when he was a bull. Who would have thought, right? And the shoe that I chose today, as you also can tell by the title, was none other than the Rose 2.5 in the Brenda colorway. This shoe is probably one of the cleanest 2.5 colorways that came out, and these are just a little bit beat up. These are in a 9.5 before the Rose 5s. Yeah, before the Rose 5s, most of my D Roses were size 10s. Around the 5s, start going down a half a size, hooping them because like the 9.5s just weren't fitting the same. Kind of similar to how D Rose is listed as being 6'1" now instead of being 6'3", but stuff happens, things change. That's about shoes though, but that's just a random fun fact. But the Rose 2.5s is a shoe that you can kind of still see featured in different shoes today. If you look at the Rose 10s that are currently out, they feature an outsole traction pattern very similar to what you see on the Rose 2.5s. As you can tell with this outsole, it's got that same curvature that's on the 10s, that same pivot points. The only big major difference is the heel's kind of different, but this traction itself was originally taken from the Adidas Crazy Lights, which was released during his MVP year, and Derek wore those during the playoff run against the Pacers until he sprained his ankle in, I believe it was game 3 or game 4. I think it was game 4 against the Pacers because, yeah, they lost game 4 and then they went back to Chicago and he was hooping in the 1.5s with a white toe box and they won the series out there at home. But I digress. The 2.5s are a dope shoe. I mean, I like the 2.5s for a lot of different reasons. If we're talking about tech, these shoes have a sprint web upper, which you can actually kind of see through the shoe, which is kind of cool. They're very breathable. These have geo-fit on the ankle collar, which is also nice. And it's also here on the tongue where the Rose logo is at. It forms to your ankle really well, made a really comfortable shoe. The sprint frame in the back was great too, kept your foot locked in. The midsole was really comfortable for an EVA midsole, and of course the traction was pretty great as well too, which is just another great added bonus. Something else too that you'll notice on the 2.5s is you have that little streak right here, which is kind of reminiscent of like the fire jet design. It was also reminiscent in the 1s and the 1.5s have it a little bit here on the back, but it's also featured on the 10s. So know, that's just another little small shout out. I want to talk about a very small detail. It's not very noticeable, like nobody really knows about. If you look underneath the Adidas logo that's featured here on like the toe box, there's a 1 beneath it for his jersey number at the time, which is just kind of like, again, weird random thing. These were the first pair of Rose shoes to feature my coach in them. What was my coach? Well, basically, I have a my coach somewhere. I have no clue where it's at, but it was a thing where you could take the insole out and you could put in this little speed cell. It was kind of like Nike Plus, where you could track your training. So my favorite thing about was that I could record, you know, how fast, you know, you're moving, running up and down the court, things like that, you know, just for training purposes. But for me, I pretty much used it for bragging rights, and I just used it a couple times just 'cause I had some fun with it myself, you know. But their cool thing with this midsole, or not midsole, but with this insole, is that it was one of the thicker insoles. So, you know, these were the ones that had the extra cushioning in them. It was kind of nice. They're a little bit more durable. Kind of missed those days, but I digress. We're just gonna put it back. Just put it back. Another cool thing about the 2.5s is that the Puma colorway you had, some of them had a geo mapping. Well, actually, I guess it would be somewhat accurate. It had a printing of the map of Chicago, showing like Inglewood and some other places highlighted on, which is cool. And that's just, you know, some of the cool things about the 2.5s that maybe you guys didn't know about. This was also technically the last Adizero shoe that D Rose had. All of his shoes after this were just called the Adidas Rose. You know, this shoe was the lightest Rose at the time. I think it was weighing in at 11 ounces. I remember that because of the 2.5 video of the All-Star game. It's very easy to remember that video because of how many people have seen it, and I've ended up showing it to, I suppose, as well. Another cool thing too I like to talk about is the Rose logo here on the tongue. This was the not original Rose logo, but at the time this was the Rose logo. It had the E having 3 stripes, which I thought was cool. It was dope. I was like, this is cool. It's the Rose logo. But little did we know that we was about to get the actual D Rose logo. And so it's, you know, just a little cool thing to kind of look back at and kind of see and just reminisce about. The 2.5s are kind of hard to find now if you look on eBay and stuff like that. If there was never be another Rose that I'd like to get retroed, maybe it would be the 2.5s, I guess, because you can find 3s, you can find 4s, you can find 5s and 6s, 7s. In my size, I can't find any 8s, actually. I have like 1 8, or there's 1 Rose 8 I can find, which is just kind of funny. But the 2.5s would be a cool colorway to get retro up, along with like the 2s. The 2s, that toe box real clean. That you know, was a mid cut shoe. That thicker outsole was great for outdoors. I love that shoe outdoors. Indoors traction wasn't great, but this used to be my favorite D Rose shoe to hoop in. I really did like the 3s, but I still remember that something about the 2.5s just felt great. The only bad memory associated with the 2.5s we have is that he tore his ACL in this one. Not this colorway though. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the look at this Rose 2.5 and the Brenda colorway. And I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow for another D Rose review. But until then, guys, peace. I'll see you then. Go check out Crazy Star Wars Fan 108 and check out Michaela and check out Ethan, and, you know, anything else I say, do it. Just maybe, please. I would appreciate it. You don't got to. I would just like it. But you don't got to, but you can do it. Please, maybe. All right, cool. Until then, guys, though, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.